Welcome back to the Iron Perspective. I am your host, JD Denham. I'm excited to be here. I hope you're excited to be here with me. Ladies and gentlemen, you just get me. That's it. You just get me today. I already had a podcast recorded with someone that I looked up to greatly, someone that I speak of on this podcast often, my good friend and my mentor, Mark Moss. I had recorded a podcast with him last week, and when humans get involved in things, mistakes are made. And not to throw a dagger at his editor, but his editor forgot to hit record. So we did that podcast for fun. So now today, you just get me. But that's going to be good because it's been a while since I've dropped a podcast where I'm not interviewing somebody. So today, I want to talk about something that I talk about on all my channels often. I scream it from the rooftops, actually. I want to talk about becoming our best versions of ourselves. Now, there's going to be a lot of new listeners, right? And there's a lot of people that have been following me from day one. So some of you have heard this part of my story, but how I even got onto this podcast, it started back years ago. And I was looking around, and everywhere I looked, I saw everybody overweight. I saw when I'd go to the park with my son, I would see other fathers at the park sitting on the bench with their phone in their face, and those were always, again, not throwing daggers, but those are always the men that are not playing with their children. They're just sitting there mindlessly scrolling. The world has become lazy. I'm right. The world has become lazy. We live in a world where we want it now. Instant gratification. Everything, we want it now, right? And it's yielding weak people. It's yielding lazy people. Now, I'm going to tell you that the food we eat is poison. I'm not going to downplay it. I'm very aware of it. So that's part of it. And we'll talk about that here as we get into the show. But that's not an excuse. Everybody has the same food options. Everybody can make the same choices. Many just choose, and emphasize choose, to eat the crap food. So today, what I would like to do is lay the foundation of how to become your best version. Now, I don't have all the answers. I don't pretend to. I hope that doesn't come off as pompous, like I know everything, but I'm 48 years old, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I've been in shape most of my life. So I would like to share some of the things that have helped me become that. Like anybody, I have a lot of wounds. I've been through some shit. I've battled drug addiction. I've lost close family members, my mom. I lost close friends, my niece. I've been through some shit along the way, and it's helped mold me. But, the world, a lot of people choose to live in the victim mentality of poor me. If I only had this, I could do that. Or this guy has that, so that's why he's successful, blah, 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 blah. I want to set all that stuff aside, and I want to focus on how do we become our best version. Now, this is something that works for me. You can take some of the things that are mine and make them yours, and I'd advise you to. So I want to go through a few different categories of what we focus on to become our best versions. First and foremost, I've worked with hundreds of men in regards to fitness, health, trying to get them back in shape. For those that don't know, the last year and a half of my life, I ran a fitness channel. I did diet plans and workout plans, and I coached a lot of men, literally hundreds of men, on how to get back in shape. So I have a very good bird's eye view of just general where people are falling short, people's lack of knowledge when it comes to diet, exercise, all the above. So where we start is this: your goals. You would be blown away. I ask everybody, how much weight do you want to lose? And most people don't even have an answer. First and foremost, how are you going to achieve your goal if you don't even know what your goal is? Think about that. Let me say that again. How are you going to achieve your goal if you don't even know what your goal is? Now, I would advise you to have a goal and then blow right through that goal, right? Bo Jackson used to run through the end zone up into the locker room. He would run through his goal and all the way through his locker room. He did better than anybody else. He pushed himself further, right? And that's what I think we're supposed to do. I mean, anybody that follows my channels in any form, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, this podcast, I talk about it all the time. Men are warriors. It is embedded in our DNA. Now, there's a lot of men that have not tapped into that in a long time. There's a lot of men that have let that side of themselves go dormant, but it's there, man. You just got to wake that son of a bitch up, right? So today we're going to try to wake that son of a bitch up. First and foremost, get yourself a goal. Write your goal down. You can't see it because I'm in my office, but if I showed you the camera right there, my goal is sitting right there. And it stares me in the face each and every day. That's my goal. My goal always changes. Sometimes I achieve the goal, so I put down new goals, right? But I have a goal. There was an interview I read years ago about, they interviewed some of the most successful people. And there was one common denominator that each and every one of them had. And it was a very interesting article. Because let me ask you that, at you listeners, as you listen to this, what would be the common denominator? What would you say would be the one thing that all these extremely wealthy people achieved? Like what binded them all together? What did they all have that was the same? They all had goals written down and in some form in eyesight. Some people had it in their desk. Some people read it every day. But the common denominator was they all had goals and they all had it like in somewhere in eyesight where they looked at it daily. Huge. From that day when I read that, I started doing that. So it's not just having a goal, right? So let's say you want to get to a certain McDonald's in San Francisco, right? That's your goal. Well, your goal is to get to that McDonald's in San Francisco. That's the goal. But you have to know how to get to there. You have to have a roadmap, right? Your goal is McDonald's in San Francisco, right? But how do I get there? And that's where I think a lot of people lack. So it's not just write down your goal. First, get a goal, have a goal. You'd be blown away by how many people don't even have a goal. Have a goal, and then you want to write down all the ways that you know of how you are going to achieve that goal. Now, that list is going to be under construction constantly. You're going to need to continue to better it and change it, and it's going to bob and it's going to weave and it's going to evolve because you're going to get better at it. You're going to get better at it. You're going to continue to grow, and as you get better, you're going to change that roadmap because you're going to get quicker at reaching your goals because you start to lay the foundation of the brand new you by setting a goal. And I hope that some people listening to this will adopt this from here on out, like I have. I've been doing this for I don't even know how many years. I've had my goal written down in eyesight for as long as I can remember, at least in my sobriety, so at least 14 years. So get yourself a goal, number one. Number two, write down what you need to do on how to achieve that goal. I've worked with a lot of people in regards to fitness. Now, everybody does it wrong, for the most part. What do I mean by that? Most people, they get this burning fire in them to change, right? So they're ready to change. They're ready to get in shape. They looked at themselves in the mirror one day and they're like, I'm tired of looking like this and I want to change. So they're ready to get started. So what do? What do most people do? They start going to the gym. That's where they start. And they start working out hard, right? They'll work out good. Let's just say we give it a week. They work out hard, but they don't see any changes because that's not the roadmap to achieve the goal. That's not going to be the way to get in shape. Most people think they just got to work out. And it's a lot more than just working out. And we're going to get into that. So first and foremost, get yourself a goal. I want to lose 30 pounds, right? Have a definitive number. If you're 50 pounds overweight, write that down. I want to lose 50 pounds. Write it down. Now, I would advise you to go past that 50 pounds, but write that down. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Now, How do we reach that goal? What do I need to do to lose 50 pounds? So first and foremost, you have a goal. Secondly, most people, this is gonna blow your mind for a lot of people. One of the most important things in losing weight, getting in shape, being fully optimized in regards to yourself, being the best version of yourself. This is going to throw a curveball at a lot of people. Hormones. You have to have your hormones in line. Hormones play a huge role in people losing weight. If you have low testosterone and high estrogen, it's going to be very hard for you to lose weight. Now, the food we eat is full of crap. There's a lot of estrogen in the food. I'm not going to go on a tangent in regards to that. If you don't know that by now, that's a different subject for a different day. There's estrogen in the food. The food's poison. The cows and whatnot are filled with hormones, blah, blah, blah. We are eating this food and it is affecting our own hormones. In the last year and a half, all the men that I worked with, I would have them, if they hadn't done it recently, to get their blood work done. This is not an exaggeration. 9 out of 10 of them had under 300 testosterone. That is a huge problem. If you are listening to this and that struck a nerve, let me tell you this. Men are not supposed to live at 300 testosterone. That's not how we're supposed to live. Men, the testosterone is what makes us men, man. It's that vigor. It's what gives us that drive. It's that pit bull inside of us that makes us want more. It makes us protective of our family, right? If you're at 300 testosterone, of course you're tired. Of course you feel sluggish and you don't want to get out of bed and your brain's all foggy. You don't have any testosterone in you, man, and it's a very easy fix. So we're going to start there. So number 1 is set a goal. Number 2 is we need to get your hormones in line. Now, this is very easy. You need to go to the doctor and you need to get a blood panel. You need to get your blood work done. You need to get your estrogen checked. You need to get your testosterone checked. And you need to get your free testosterone checked. Those 3 things alone will tell you so much of what you need to do. Now, I know that there's so many people out there that are just so like, when it comes to testosterone replacement, they'll never do it. They think it's cheating. They think it's that. They think that, whatever. I don't even care. I'm just going to let you know. This is a very easy fix, gentlemen. If you have 300 testosterone, you are not living at your best self, and it's going to be extremely hard for you to lose weight. You're not supposed to live at 300 testosterone. You're not. So if you get your blood work done and it is at 300 or lower, which many men are, 9 out of 10 of the men that I had get their blood work done were under 300 testosterone. This is an easy fix. You get on testosterone replacement. It's very simple. You can get it prescribed by a doctor. Now, there's a lot of doctors out there that don't know a lot about hormones, and they're going to tell you that 300 is fine. Find a new doctor. Very simple. Find a new doctor. 300 is not fine. So number 2 is we need to get your hormones in line. If you have fat around your breast area, that generally means you have high estrogen. If you have a lot of fat around your nipples and you just kind of like, man boobs, so to speak, that generally means you have high estrogen. So you can fix that as well. You can take a Arimidex or something like that that's going to help you with the estrogen. These are things that a doctor that knows what he's doing can easily help you. So number 2, we need to get your hormones in line. If you do not have your hormones in line, you can get in shape. Yes, it is going to be an uphill climb. Your hormone levels are so important that I put it in front of diet, exercise, and even supplementation. It's number 2. That's how important for you being optimized and being your best version. That's how important having your hormones in line is it's number 2 in this category and what I'm going to go through. So get your hormones checked. Get them in line. If you have low testosterone, you start taking testosterone replacement. In 3 weeks, you will feel like another man. You will feel vigor. You will feel energetic. Your sex drive will go up. You'll just start feeling like a man again, dude. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. You're going to thank me later. Trust me. I can't tell you how many men that I helped get on testosterone replacement. A few weeks later, they were singing my praises. Thank you so much. I don't know why I waited so long. I should have done this years ago. It's that simple. So again, number one, write down your goal and how are you going to achieve your goal. Number two, get your hormones in line. Go get your blood work tested. Now, number three, this is one of my favorites. It really is. I am huge on fasting. I have been fasting for probably 10 years. How I stumbled on to fasting was right about the same time that I kind of stumbled on a testosterone replacement. When I was 38 years old, I was extremely tired. I was still working out, but I was starting to gain a lot of weight. And, for the longest time, I could just work out and kind of eat whatever I wanted and stay in shape. But 38, for some reason, man, was that little marker for me. It was just, boom, I hit a wall at 38. I was sluggish. I thought there was something wrong with me. So I started researching it. And that's when I got on testosterone replacement. It changed my life. Right around that same time, though, I was starting just to research a lot of things. I'm somebody that when I'm intrigued by something, I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to stay in shape. I started to read about fasting, intermittent fasting. And I stumbled upon some articles on intermittent fasting. And then I started to implement that in my life. I started off by very simple, a 16-8. I would fast for 16 hours and I would eat in an 8-hour window. And I am somebody that is so like OCD and so like when I say I'm going to do something, I keep my word to myself. I realize the empowerment of that. So I told myself that I was going to do a 16-8 for a year. And I didn't break that. I did it for not only a year, I did it for 3 years. I really did. I loved it. I fell in love with fasting because I realized, one, gosh, it helped me get in amazing shape. I would fast all day until 2, and then I was working in the mortgage industry. So what I would do is I would work all morning. All I would drink is just black coffee and water, a lot of salt water. I'd go to the gym around 12:30 on my lunch break. And then I'd come back to the office and I would break my fast at 2. I would eat a big meal and I would break my fast and then I would eat another meal around probably 7 o'clock. I would eat 2 meals a day. And I was blown away by not by how just amazing shape that I was getting in just by the fasting, but man, I was in sales. I was a mortgage banker. I was razor focused, man. I was on fire when I was fasted. I was blown away by it. My focus was just razor focused all day long. So it was a double-edged sword. I'd started doing the fasting for health reasons, and I wanted to kind of reboot my gut and obviously lose some weight because I was starting to get pudgy around that 38, being 38 years old, blah, blah, blah. So for numerous reasons is why I started doing the fasting. Why I truly fell in love with it, though, was because of the just razor focus that it gives you. Anybody that has been fasting or has tried it knows what I'm talking about. You are just focused. And so I was killing it on the phone. So I did that for 3 years. I did it. I loved it so much for 3 years. I'm going to tell you straight up, man, I didn't break an 8-hour eating window for 3 years. I didn't, man. And I was getting really clever with it. Like anything, you want to be a student of your craft, so to speak. So for example, if I was going to go to a wedding, let's say I was going to a wedding on a Saturday, right? And we were going to eat late. I would fast all the way till 5. Instead of breaking my fast at my normal 2 o'clock, I would fast until 5. Knowing that I was going to be up late and at the wedding a long time, and they would have different types of food and whatnot. So I would I would break my fast at 5 right after the wedding, right? And then I would be able to have a lot longer eating window during the wedding. So you start to get creative. You start to just, think through things, man. And those are things that I kind of passed on to some of my clients or just friends or people that have questions when it comes to fasting. Think through it, man. Like for example, if you're gonna go out to breakfast with people, you're gonna have, for whatever reason, I don't know why it is, when you are doing something to better yourself, that makes people, like, that turns the mirror around and makes them look at themselves. For example, if I went to breakfast with people and I'm fasting, they always want to get you, come on, just have breakfast. Just, man, just one time. For whatever reason, human nature is they want you to fold. I don't know why that is. But when you start to do these types of things and you start to really feel what it's like to keep your word to yourself, it's just an extreme amount of empowerment. And I literally fell in love with that empowerment. Now, for 3 years, give or take, I did a 16-8 fast, never breaking an 8-hour eating window. Now, I realized that it wasn't working like it once did. And I started studying it a bit more, and reading about autophagy, where what autophagy is when you reach around, give or take, around the 16-hour mark, you start to tap into autophagy. What that means is your dead cells or your dying cells will die off and brand new ones take their place. That starts generally around the 16-hour mark. Now, I started pushing it further. I wanted to see what it was like to do a 24-hour fast. So I started implementing 24-hour fast into my fasting regimen and just started doing 72-hour fast. And I just really started to play around with different types of fasting. Ultimately, my current fasting regimen now, 10 years later, and I wouldn't advise anybody to just jump in head first and do this, but I've talked about this numerous times on all my channels, but let me run through what my current fasting regimen is. I do at least 3 24-hour fasts a week, at least 3. Oftentimes I will do 5 24-hour fasts in a row. Now that sounds dramatic. It really is not as dramatic as it sounds. It's very simple. I stop eating at 6 o'clock on Sunday night. I'll eat my last meal on Sunday night, and then I will fast all the way until Monday at 6 p.m. I break my fast on Monday night at 6 p.m. Now, I have done that for numerous years. If I'm on vacation, it doesn't matter. Monday is my 24-hour fast, and that I will not fold on that. Now, generally speaking, on Tuesday, I will fast all the way till generally about 2 o'clock, sometimes 4. So Tuesday is generally a 20-hour fast, right? I'll go back in. I'll eat a meal generally at 2 o'clock, eat another meal at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, and then fast again, another 24-hour fast all the way till Wednesday. Right? I'll break my fast on Wednesday night. That's another 24-hour fast. So that's my second 24-hour fast. Again, on Thursday, very commonly, I'll do a 20-hour fast, which I'll eat my last meal, give or take, on right Wednesday at 6. Fast all the way until maybe 2 o'clock on Thursday, sometimes 4, whatever, give or take. And I'll break the fast, and then I'll eat, like say 2 o'clock, and then I'll eat one more meal at 6 o'clock on Thursday night. And then I will fast again all the way from Thursday night at 6 all the way till Friday night at 6. That would be my third 24-hour fast. Now, again, oftentimes I will do 24-hour fast Monday through Friday. And it's really not as drastic as it sounds. I've done it a long time. It's very easy for me. They call it an OMAD diet. It's one meal a day. So basically I'll fast like at 6 o'clock, on Monday night, all the way to 6 o'clock on Tuesday night, and eat one huge meal. So a lot of questions that I get: how do I keep my muscle? I eat huge meals when I eat. Literally, I'll eat 2 steaks, 6 eggs, and I don't even know, cottage cheese. When I'm doing one meal a day, I eat a lot. So I get all my calories in. Another reason is when you're fasting, your body releases a ton of human growth hormone, right? So when you reach, and again, right around the 16-hour mark, give or take, your body will release a ton of human growth hormones. So you actually get leaner. You start to see more definition in your muscles. So I tap into that human growth hormone, and that's one of the reasons why you don't lose the muscle that a lot of people think that you lose. So number 3 is fasting. What would I recommend to anybody listening to this? Should they do fasting? Absolutely, 100%. How would I recommend you start? Just cut out breakfast. That's it. Just cut out breakfast. Cut out your breakfast. Only drink black coffee and water, and then break your fast at 12 o'clock, and then stop eating at 8 o'clock. That is an 8-hour window. Start there. Do that for a few months, man. Just eat in an 8-hour window. Get your body acclimated to this new way of living, and you're going to realize that it really isn't that hard to do, right? And you're going to realize, in my opinion, you're going to fall in love with fasting like I did, because you are razor focused. You are going to kill it at your job. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter. You are going to be razor focused during the day because your mind is clear. When we eat, it takes energy to digest, therefore we get tired, right? So we're not as focused. When we're fasted, we're razor focused. So again, we got number 1, which is going to be get yourself a goal. Number 2, which is going to get your hormones in line. Number 3 is going to be start to implement fasting into your life. Excuse me. Number 4, the obvious one, exercise. You need to start exercising. Now, I'm a gym rat. I love to lift heavy weights. Let me tell you a story about when I started to work out. It was 8th grade. Now, my cousin and I were super close. We basically were like brothers. Now, his dad, my uncle, was an ex-wrestler, and the dude was jacked. We would see him get up every morning and take off on a run, and he would come back just drenched in sweat. Dude was just ripped. I remember being in 8th grade thinking, dude, this guy is shredded, right? So he, knowing that we were going into football for our freshman year, took us under his wing and showed us how to lift weights. Now, he showed us how to hit the chest muscle, what it was to hit the shoulder muscle, traps, all the above. Really, even forever indebted to my Uncle Paul, because he literally showed me how to lift weights. I never stopped. I fell in love with it. Now, I'm 48 years old and I haven't stopped since. I've been lifting weights since 8th grade. I started lifting weights in 8th grade, going into high school, and I never stopped. I fell in love with it, and that is my thing. I'm a gym rat. I like to lift heavy weights. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to do that. That doesn't have to be yours. You could do HIIT training. You can do CrossFit. There are so many different ways to exercise. You can just do that, man. Go on runs. It doesn't matter. You just have to exercise, right? You have to start to put yourself in uncomfortable positions. Your muscles are going to grow when you put stress on them, right? So if you're someone that likes to play basketball, go play basketball, but you need some type of resistant training. Now, you don't need a gym to get in shape, man. I have a YouTube channel that has, I don't even know, like 30 different HIIT training workouts that I do. I recorded, and you can literally just follow along with me. So just do that, right? So number 4 is going to be exercise. Like I said, most people put number 4 in the first position. They think that they just need to work out, and that's how they're going to get in shape. I have it all the way back at number 4. You have putting your goals down, right? Finding what your goal is, right? You have your second thing, which is going to be getting your hormones in line. Your third thing is, which is going to be implementing intermittent fasting. And the fourth thing, all the way in number 4, is going to be working out, exercising, lifting weights, going on runs. Whatever you like to do, do that. Do push-ups in your backyard. Do sit-ups in your backyard. Do pull-ups in your backyard. Just work out, right? That's number 4. Number 5 is going to be supplementation. Now, anybody that has followed me knows, I would imagine by now, that I'm huge on supplements. I own a peptide company called Warrior Makers. I'm huge on peptides. I think they're amazing. I think everybody should take them. But that's not it. We got your creatine. I take creatine, HCl. I take a lot of peptides. Now, you're going to have to do your research when it comes to that stuff. But supplements are exactly what they sound like. They're going to supplement what your body no longer makes, or when you're exercising, it needs more of. So, for example, testosterone replacement is supplementing. You're supplementing more testosterone into your body because your body no longer makes enough for you to be the way that you need to live, to give you the energy, blah, blah, blah. Human growth hormone. I'm huge on human growth hormone, man. It's my second seat. I take testosterone replacement, I take human growth hormone, and I take a plethora of other peptides, because peptides are very simply chains of amino acids that are going to help enhance your body contingent upon what peptide you take. They have peptides for immunity, right? With the world that we live in, with all the toxins that we breathe in, all the crap food that we eat, you have stuff like thymosin alpha 1, that's going to be for immunity. You have weight loss peptides, or you have fat burning peptides, which are going to be like retatrutide or tirzepatide. You have NAD, which is going to be like an anti-aging. HGH would go in that category as well. Human growth hormone is going to help with sleep. It's going to help with wrinkles. It's going to help with your skin. You have another one of my favorites, which is GHKCU, which is a copper peptide. Now, copper is blue, so you're going to see that it helps your skin. It's going to help with wrinkles. It's going to help generate collagen production. So that's just to name a few. So I'm naming those so you start to do some research. But yes, I have a peptide company, and I'm not selling you on that now. I'm telling you, that's number 5. Supplements are number 5. There's a lot of people that still will put number 5 as number 1. If I just take these supplements, I'm going to get in shape. It's not the case, man. You got to get your goals set. You got to get your hormones in line. You got to start to implement fasting and get your diet in line. And then when you start to exercise and take supplements, they work. Again, I cannot tell you how many people do it backwards. They start with number 5 first. Well, if I just take some supplements, I'm going to get in shape. No, man, that's number 5. You need to get your diet in line. You need to get your hormones in line. You need to get your goals set, and you need to start working out first. Then when you take supplements, they're going to work. So it's that easy. So that is the roadmap of how you, me, anybody can become their best version. I'm 48 years old and I'm in the best shape of my life. But let me tell you guys, I work at it. I'm super disciplined. I have my goals written down, and I have my goals on how I will achieve it. My goal is always to be in better shape than I was last year. I just turned 48. I'm going to be in better shape than I was at 47. Because I have the discipline to, because I know that I'm capable of it. You need to start adopting this mindset that you need to stop saying, I might get in shape, or I'm thinking about getting in shape. Get that stuff off the table, man. You need to start talking different, and you need to change that mindset. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to be getting the best shape of my life. I don't care if you're 67. Doesn't matter to me. You can get in the best shape of your life at any age. Get your mind right. Start talking different. Don't think I might. You will. If you say you will, and you know you will, you will. That is how powerful your mind is. Now, keep in mind, it works the other way. If you start saying, I don't know, maybe I would get in shape, you already said to yourself that you're not going to do it. So get your mind right. Get yourself some goals. Get your hormones tested, right? Start fasting. Get yourself the right diet, and then get yourself exercising, and boom, you are going to start to thrive. So that is the roadmap. That is the podcast for today. I hope that connects to some people. Remember this, you're a warrior. Act like one. That's all I got.